So to begin, I'm going to show you a picture of the Orville River, and this is located up north towards Chico. So the first picture on the left right here was taken in 2011, and this one was taken in 2014, only 3 years later. So the changes are pretty much unbelievable, but there is only one cause for this, and that's the drought. So our state of California has been struggling in a drought on and off for the past about 7 years now. And the reason that the drought started is because the demand overweighs the supply of water. And we are all residents of California, of course, and we are going to be affected by the changes one way or the other. And I am a California resident as well, and I have noticed these changes. So by learning more about the drought and its impacts, you will receive a better understanding of the environment around you. So first I'm going to provide background on the drought and how it started, and then I'm going to describe the effects it has had on the wildlife and plantation. And lastly, I will offer some ways you can help by conserving water. So when did the drought start and why? Prior to the drought, California always was filled with hundreds of lakes and rivers, all of which were overflowing with water. We always had water in our reach, and it was plentiful in its supply. According to Stanford scientists, the cause of they believe that the cause of the drought was due to human-caused climate change, but unfortunately they were incorrect because we were actually the cause. We never thought of running out of water as a possibility, so for that we didn't keep in mind how much water we wasted on a daily basis, and because of that, the once filled lakes and rivers began to decrease in their volume. So prior to this drought, we had one that started in 2008 and it ended in March of 2013. And according to Henry Fountain of the New York Times, which was updated in April of this year, when compared to precipitation and temperature records taken back in the 1800s, our current precipitation and temperature records show that our drought is much more severe than it was when it ended in 2013. So the reason, California also has had many droughts before, and some of these droughts that happened many years ago lasted over centuries, and this is what scientists call mega droughts. And the reason that California has had so many droughts, it basically suggests that California was built upon a temporary wet period, and according to the scientists, if this temporary wet period were to end, new infrastructure would need to be built. So now that I've provided background on the drought, I'm going to discuss effects on wildlife and the environment. Okay. So, according to Daryl Fears of the Washington Post, last updated in May 2015, the death rates in animals have increased since the drought. So some animals, motherly animals, they can't find enough food or water to provide their babies with. So because of this, most of them die from starvation or dehydration. And then there's also reports of bears and deers who venture out of where they live to go look for food and water. And sometimes they venture out too far where they end up on roads and they eventually become run over by cars and they pass away. So according to the Yellow website, in January of 2015, for the chinhook salmon, rain came too late in the northern Central Valley. So this species of salmon, they require very cold water for their eggs to stay fertile and be able to make it to full term. And due to the drought, there's also very hot weather, which makes the water hot, so their eggs don't survive. So eventually, people believe, the UC Davis researchers believe that the salmon will eventually become extinct. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, which was updated in August of 2015, California is a major producer in the fruit, the vegetable, the tree nut, and the dairy sectors. So due to the drought and again the hot weather, it makes the plantation very very dry. So because of this, there's not a lot of plantations growing, so we don't have a lot of food growing. And then the dry weather also makes it easier for a wildfire to catch. So if wildfire catches, the little crops that we have are already destroyed. And because of this, farmers are losing their jobs since there's not really a lot of things to pick during harvestation period, so they're losing a lot of jobs. So now I discussed the wildlife and plantation effects. I'm going to explain ways we can help by conserving water. So we can conserve water both indoors and outdoors. For indoors, like this picture here, I don't know if you can see it, but when we brush our teeth, we can help save a lot of water by not letting it run, as well as like when we wash our dishes, we shouldn't let the water run, or even like if you wash your face. So, or you can even buy a toilet. They have toilets like right here. This one is the full flush and so the half flush, so you can select which one and then it doesn't use as much water. Outdoors, the best solution would be to not water your plants on a hot sunny morning, because if you do, then the sun will absorb all the water before the plants do. So you're basically watering them for nothing. Another way is if you do wash your car, not to use an excessive amount of water, because sometimes the water is being used for no reason. So now that I have discussed ways to conserve water, I'm going to conclude. So by learning about the drought and its impact, you got a better understanding of the environment around you. First, I provided background of the drought. Then I described the effects it has had on the wildlife and plantation, and I discussed ways you can conserve water. So hopefully you all decide to conserve water soon, because California is really in a drought and every drought counts.